StockMenter.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your Stockmenter, Brian Johnson. And the markets ended just a couple points up, really nothing to talk about. It was really, for me, the interesting part of the day was at the end of the day. So let's break into it. As you can see here, we've been following this triangle for the longest time. Now we finally broke this triangle. This happened Monday. Nice push up. A lot of these overhead areas I had been talking about finally broke. 11.450 was one of them. 11.550 being one of the bigger ones. That one was broke today for a little while, right into the end of the day where we got up and over the 11.6 mark before pulling back, and here's the key, closing below the 200 period moving average here on the 60-minute charts. This for me was actually big to see it come back and actually close below this level. You can see the volume that poured in on that last hour, and I think a lot of it came in actually towards the very, very end of the day. As it tried to breach this, hovered there for a while, and then right at the very end of the day just came slamming itself back down. This was something that was indicative on all the other charts, except for the NASDAQ. The NDX held strong, and it did not stay above this area, but it made me wonder if maybe we could be looking at a potential pullback into tomorrow's trading. In the after hours, even after the market closed, it continued to fall down. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get the SPX, and I'll even show you the futures and what we saw coming into the end of the day. But overall, closing below the 200 period moving average right here. So we have broke out of this triangle. We are into a new function. I'm sure a lot of people will be looking at something like bottom of wave 3. This will be A, this will be B, eventually this will be C, and then we'll continue our move to the downside. This will then end wave 4 up here. Wave 5 will then start to the downside. But we might not be out of the woods quite yet with the wave 4. I guess if it was left to me, I think I'd look at this as maybe 1. Here would be the C wave, start of the C wave down here. So 1, 2, this is all still part of 3 of C. Maybe 4 of C now comes with 5 of C yet to take us to some higher prices up in here. But tomorrow I would be watching for for a good potential here for a gap down to kind of start the day. Here on the Dow Daily, you can see we have beat the 20-day moving averages. We've closed up over these major levels of overhead resistance. It didn't take us very long. Today we retested back below them and no go. They were able to bring it back up. Now the same thing was true at the end of the day. Tried to make some progress to the upside, no go. Brought it back down. Not seeing a whole lot of volume. Things are kind of slowing down here as you can see on this move up. Overall ended with a spinning top type candle. It really just tells me there's a lot of indecision. Now this isn't bullish, it isn't bearish, it really isn't anything, it just is. So we'll wait till tomorrow to see if we can get some moves to the market. Just because we might gap down in the morning does not mean by any stretch of the imagination that we are into some big new move to the downside. So I wouldn't go that far with it quite yet. Just be watching a lot of these lower levels. Once we get back below the 20-day moving averages, okay, now maybe we can talk some more about wave 5 down. But until we clear these 20-day MAs, I'm really not all that concerned about it. NASDAQ 60-minute, same type of thing, pushing itself up and over, but not, notice not, closing below the 200 like we saw in a lot of the other indices. NASDAQ's just always stronger. You love to see that if you're bullish on this market. This is precisely what you're looking for, but it'll be the same count. This will end the wave B, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1. Here's wave 2. Now we're working on all of wave 3. With 4 and 5 yet to come, that makes the most sense to me. So I'm really not convinced that we don't have some more upwards action to go. It's all still same story, different song, right here below the 20-day moving averages. Once we get back below these 20-day moving averages, then I'll have to maybe revisit the 5 down idea. Right here, good volume on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ seems to be holding pretty well. Apple, you certainly wouldn't know it by Apple, but there have been some other tech stocks that have been moving very, very sharply the last few days. If it's going to continue upwards, you must watch the 50-day moving average very, very, very closely. 2270 to 2280-ish would definitely be one of my bigger overhead areas of resistance as we get up there. From a weekly point of view too, we hit just about hit. The 50-week moving average, close enough. We may retest that. That is at 2254 right now, so keep that on your charts as well. And we'll see if that might be attacked by the end of the week. SPX 60 minute, here you go, right at the very end of the day, and slash back down to close below the 200 period moving average. So maybe 1, 2, this was 3, 4, could be 5 of 3. So this could end all of wave 3. If we get some sort of a bigger pullback here, that would definitely satisfy it as well for me, especially down into the 1200 to I like the 1190, 1180 range. I love that for a retest. So if this thing pulls back, watch the 1180 to 1190 to hold and act as very good support down in here. On to the SPX daily, show you the same spinning top. Once again, looking to reclaim the 20-day before I start talking about wave 5s down. And before we get to the VIX, let me just go ahead and show you where the futures are right now. We'll discuss a little bit about what we saw here at the end of the day. Hold on. All right, so here are the futures. Here it was all day long. At the very, very end of the day, you can see the push up into some of these higher levels. In the trading room, we took a long here, tried another long later on that did not work out for us, and at the very end of the day took a short position as we crashed back down and through 1216, and that turned out to be a beautiful trade, and actually we are still in it. I told everyone that if this is wave 4, I want to be in on the forefront of it, no pun intended, and really hold on, see if we can't make some money off of this thing. So I am still in that trade. That is from about 1216-ish, really, about 1216 to where we are now. Looking for this to potentially get down into that 1190, 1180 area. As you can see, one of the things I'm really watching with great interest would be the left shoulder, head, potential right shoulder of a very large head and shoulders pattern. If that is legit, we would be looking at, I don't know, call it 1085-ish for a lower target by the time that thing's all done, somewhere down in there. Or sorry, 1180. 1185-ish. How about that? Talk 1185 or so for a target on this bigger head and shoulders, which puts us right back where? Within that 1080, 1090 range, which I love for lower support on any kind of a pullback. I think that makes total sense. That should also be good for about 20 to 30 points on the ES at, well, $50 a point is about a $1,500 trade on that. So hopefully that's where it goes. I'm hoping I wake up tomorrow and that's exactly where it is. So I'd love to see it actually pull back some more, drop down a little bit, make us some money. So shameless plug for the trading room. If you are not yet a part of it, you need to be a part of it. It's a lot of fun during the day. We have a good time. There's a lot of good trading going on in there. I'm learning as we go. I've never had a trading room before. Opened it on July 5th, and I really like it. It's basically doing exactly what I do all day long, except out loud. And I really enjoy the people in it. I enjoy the work that they do and the work that we get done. And I'm constantly trying to change this and tweak that, so we can increase profits in every way we can. So if you have not tried the trading room, you need to jump in. You need to give it a whirl. Really think you guys will enjoy it. All right, back to the charts. The VIX still moving sideways. See, the market's moving up, but the VIX isn't exactly falling apart here. So certainly lends itself, obviously, more towards some further bearishness in the markets. As long as it stays up here in a consolidation, this is nothing but a high base or a big 4 wave right here. This is exactly what those look like from an Elliott wave / technical analysis standpoint. This all looks bullish up here as it holds on, setting up for what I believe wave 5 when it comes. So whether it goes back up a little bit more, markets go back up a little bit more and then come down, or they could come down right now. It could be done. Doesn't really matter. If they do come down right now and we see wave 5 start over the next few hours or into tomorrow, then believe me, we'll find a count for it. That's just the way that works. It's much better as a 2020 system than anything else. But a high base right here for the VIX, looking at some higher prices. If the markets do move up in any way, shape, or form, keep your eye on the VIX and see if that makes any difference. You'll notice today there was a divergence. VIX up, market up. So We'll see. Doesn't seem to be a lot of complacency coming back into the markets quite yet. And from a weekly, still hanging around above the 33-ish area. I just like it above 1920. I think it's pretty. I think the markets are pretty, dissatisfied when things are above 1920 on the VIX, and here we are 33. So still hanging out, doing its part, showing a lot of fear in the markets. FAS. Now this one here has been high basing for a while. It was down 1.5% today, but I got to say, anything up and over about 15.25ish or so tomorrow could really help this thing. We could really see a move upwards. You'll see we've just been beating the heck out of the top of this area. So if we can just beat it, 15.30ish, 15.35ish, if you want to be more conservative, I really think there's good opportunity for this thing to move its way back up into the $16, $17 range. If there's a pullback at all tomorrow, which it looks like there might be, you're going to be looking at even 14.50 to start. It's got to beat this level up here. Wait for it. From a daily, it's the same story. Now, we are staying above the 20-day moving average just as we are on all the other markets, but that's only at about 14.50 right now. So any major pullback gets us already below the 20-day moving average from an FAS standpoint. Just keep in mind this thing's in a pretty straight, pretty well-defined consolidation right here. Once again, above that 15.30ish or so area, would be looking for a long opportunity. FAZ2 on the 60-minute, you can see it roll down, base sideways. I don't think I like it much back below about 52. I'd be very cautious on this one back below about $52 or so coming into tomorrow. But any kind of a pop to the upside, this thing is nothing but a bull flag right now. It's big. It's a really big bull flag. But same kind of scenario here as it pulls back, holding the 50-day moving average. If it beats its 20-day moving average, I think it's off and running again to the upside. You'll want to watch that very, very closely, because if this thing starts going, it doesn't take it long to gather some momentum and chew up a lot of dollars within the markets. You want to be in on the early side of that rather than the later and get in a lot of the profits. If it'll break the 20 and head to new highs, you're looking at a $20, $30 trade by the time it's all said and done. So watch that very closely as well. All right, that wraps it up for today's video. I'll be back with you guys probably on Thursday. We'll see how things go, but as it is right now, I'm looking at a potential gap down in the morning, and then we'll see if that's just a wave 4 before a wave 5 up to finish C, or if we're starting wave 5 down already. Could be. That's an outside chance for me, but that is the possibility. Secondary count. All right, guys, we'll see you later. See you again on Thursday. Bye.